I've had people send me pictures of them walking.
We think, food is a human right, and we think everyone deserves.
Vacations aren't just for the humans.
So she can dial it in here. She planned it.
The last year's NCAA all-around champion. We weren't.
So she can dial it in here.
It's recording. Don't you do anything to my phone. Dixie, it's my phone.
He's 80, but looks.
It's time for Positive Stories,
We're all unique in our own way.
showing the lighter side of life.
We're all people coming to do the same thing.
And these are the kind of stories that need to be talked about.
Share a laugh, maybe a tear, and energize your spirit. Seeing good people doing good things.
Where are we going with this?
Hang out with us on Afternoon Focus.
So she can dial it in here.
Hello, everybody. This is Trinity Thomas, the senior at the University of Florida. Yes, indeed, scored a perfect 10 on this vault at the National Championships over the weekend. It was her 28th perfect score of her collegiate career. And on top of that, tied the NCAA all-time record. 28 perfect 10s. Unreal.
Oh my gosh. That landing was unreal, wasn't it?
Stuck the dismount, as they say. Stick the
Yes.
dismount.
She's going to the Olympics. I think she's a future Olympic star. Wow.
I'm blanking on the name, the one everyone loves. She reminds me of
Simone
her.
Biles.
Simone Biles.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
She'll be like the next Simone Biles. Yeah.
Killing it. 28 perfect 10s. Unreal.
We see it happening. Oh my
Indeed.
gosh.
And let's don't
And-
adjust your TVs.
Yes, you might see something else happening right here, huh? Did you notice? Rob and I noticed when we came into work this morning. Got a new couch.
New couch. Reupholstered, to be clear.
Yes.
but a brighter
Same
color.
couch as we sit at the end of the show every day.
Yeah,
Same
yeah.
time, same couch.
Same
Same couch.
Different color, but yeah, a
Yeah.
little brighter, a little, kind of fits with the tone of the show, so we kind of like it.
Yeah,
And now
love
this is
it.
officially a no beverage zone. No beverage zone with a light colored couch, no kids,
This
and no
is
drinks.
true. Yeah,
But yeah, so we like it. It's good.
it's pretty.
Indeed. So let's begin, as we like to do here, with the stories from the very top of our feed as we catapult into the week, like the gymnast does. Here we go. We start today with the yeah, you see.
That was good what you did
I'm
there.
Inspired by the new couch. We start today with the music of the night coming to an end on Broadway.
Phantom of the Opera ended its remarkable 35-year run on Sunday. The show had been running longer than Adele, Taylor Swift, and Miley Cyrus have all been alive.
Yeah.
14,000 performances have been seen by more than 20 million people. About 6,500 performers and crew members have had the honor of working that show.
It's
Oh,
so
legendary.
Oh my! I mean, it really. I mean, when you think of Broadway, the certain shows have been around so long. You know, and certainly Phantom
Yes.
is top of that list. 35 years. That's remarkable run.
Oh, it is.
If you're in theater,
That's
you
an
dream of that
achievement.
kind of success, and they've had it for more than 3 decades.
Right.
So, yeah.
That show is like synonymous with Broadway, right? When you think about the famous Broadway shows, there are some that always stay, and then there are ones that come and go, and, you see them if you're in town, or if you're, lucky enough to live in New York, you can get to the theater more often. But that one,
That's King of the Hill. In terms of longevity, the Mount Rushmore Broadway musicals, and the writer of the production dedicated the show, not dead on the set, Andrew Lloyd Webber, dedicated it to his son who passed away of cancer just a few weeks ago.
Bob?
So he dedicated the show to him last night, which was beautiful, and kind of left the door open, how they do, to maybe a revival at some point. So, if something that's successful, that profitable, never really totally goes away. It will be something else. But the initial iteration is over after 35 years. Yeah.
Oh,
20 million people. Think about that.
It's remarkable.
Yeah.
It is. Oh, hats off to all of those crew members and performers, and job well done.
Absolutely.
Oh, and we're going to continue with our theme of record setters this morning with one that makes my arms hurt just thinking about telling this next story.
We want you to meet Lucas Helmke, and you can tell this guy hasn't missed arm day at the gym in quite a while. He is the new Guinness record holder for push-ups in an hour. Ready for the number? Okay, again, push-ups in an hour. 3,206. That is nearly one every second for an hour. Again, for an hour. Just want to get you to hear me. For an hour straight. He says it took 3 years to build up the strength, and he did it to teach his young son that nothing is impossible.
Boy, is that incredible.
Julie wants to keep that picture up a little longer.
He's so funny. He's fit. He's a fit guy. Wow. Kudos to him. I mean, when you break it down, like you did when you're saying, think about one every second.
Yes.
Every second, and to endure that for an hour. I mean, when you think about who does a burnout maybe at the gym where you see how many push-ups you can do in a minute or 2 minutes. Think about that burnout and how your arms feel like jello. And then
how can you feel the next day?
For an hour.
There's not enough icy hot in the world.
Right.
How did he feel the next day?
Totally. And to build up to that, the practicing he must have done. Wow.
Impressive. And a great message to his son. So bravo on every level, sir. The gun show is in town, right? Well, now to a story that will inspire the wanderlust in all of us. It centers on a DJ from San Diego who has one of the most unique checklists most people probably have ever heard of.
Yes, he is one trip away from completing a lifelong mission. Sierra Encinas caught up with him to show us his story.
His blazer says it all, a patch from every country he's visited in the world, and even a map to prove his travels in his office.
Here's Guinea, Sierra Leone, Liberia.
Ramblin' Randy's really made his bucket list a reality.
To date, I have traveled to 192 out of 193 countries. Turkmenistan is the thorn in my side. It's one of the last countries to open up since the pandemic, and I've been just waiting to get in. It's my last country, and it's been closed.
You might recognize the man behind the travels.
5, it is R-Dub. I'm going on vacation next week.
He's R-Dub from your afternoon drive on 92.5. It's really been a lifetime journey, but he says his goal started as visiting every country in Central and South America, but then turned into what it is today.
People often ask me what my favorite country is. I'd probably say Brazil. It's the only place I moved to.
He's also been to places not many other people can say they have, like North Korea.
Imagine a destination where you're not free to just walk around by yourself anywhere. I mean, you were with your government minder the entire time. They were absolutely 100% friendly and hospitable. I had a wonderful time. I was scared to death leading up to the trip to North Korea.
But he says he would go back again. If you ask him what he's learned from it all, he'll tell you.
I've learned patience, I've learned gratitude, I've learned how lucky I am to be American and live in America. I think the biggest thing I've learned is a tolerance and acceptance and a love for all cultures.
192 countries.
That's a full passport. A lot of stamps on that man's passport.
His passport's like that thick.
I do think one of it's just life because you get busy with work and families and other stuff that comes along. But I think most people would love to travel more and see more of the world than they probably end up seeing in a lifetime because, life takes over. You just can't spend your life on a plane. You got bills to pay and kids to raise and grocery
Right.
store trips and all that kind of stuff. But so I look at a story like that, I'm like, wow, that's really amazing. He's literally seen the world.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I think that's just a great way to live. We're just confined by other things sometimes to get anywhere near 192.
It's remarkable. And where he has the time to do it. I mean, he's a radio host. I would think that job is very demanding. And
Right.
he probably has great content to talk about when you take all these trips.
Oh,
You know,
man.
come back on a Monday morning and just let the listeners know where you've been, what you saw, who you talked to.
It's amazing.
It's great.
Well, Afternoon Focus staff, we're going to take this show on the road, different
Hey.
country every week.
Love the
I'm
sounds
sure
of
that's in the budget. And a different couch in every city. Imagine that. We'll talk to managers about that after the show. For now, though, time to bring you a few quick extra stories, just stuff that's fun to know, a little brain candy on Monday. And our focus today is the celebration of one of America's first ports of entry, the one and only Ellis Island.
Yes, this remarkable footage we want to show you comes from the Library of Congress. It dates back to 1903. On this day, in 1907, nearly 12,000 people were processed at the Immigration Center, making it the busiest day in its history.
It's also fun to know that the first people came through Ellis Island New Year's Day, appropriately enough, right, in 1892. They were teenager Annie Moore and her two younger brothers. Wow. They had come from Ireland here to reunite with family. Moore and her brothers are memorialized, in fact, right there at the statue at the island's museum.
And the island was originally just 3 acres, but it's grown to 27, and it is named for its last private owner, Samuel Ellis, and he opened up a small tavern to cater to fishermen, and when he died, his heir sold it to New York State, who then promptly sold it to the federal government for $10,000.
Wow. Oh, as a 10-year resident of New York and another life, I love seeing those pictures, and you represent what Ellis Island means and what the Statue of Liberty means, and I know there's all kinds of debates that rage on, but that we are a nation of immigrants.
Yes.
Unless you're Native
We're the
American.
melting pot, right.
Unless you're Native American, you came here from somewhere else.
Exactly.
That's what America is, and that's remarkable to see that footage, you know, the history of that extraordinary island and what it meant for people coming from somewhere else to come into that harbor and get into America, the land of opportunity. Just beautiful. It's a beautiful history.
Yes, yes. And I think something, at least I know with my own family members who, came through there. I'm Italian. I've talked to them before on the show. They came from Italy, my relatives, and really wanted to be Americans, very, proud to become American citizens, and it meant a lot to them to learn the language, to learn the culture, and some of my, other, even like my parents and some of my other, aunts and uncles, who didn't learn the language, who can, hear it, understand it, said, well, that was because they wanted to speak English here, and they really wanted to, become part of the culture and our country. So
absolutely, historically, we are a doors wide open country, so it's a beautiful history, really is. Love knowing that. Good stuff. Coming up for us after the break, the power of a warm meal and a couple nourishing those in need.
We think, food is a human right, and we think everyone deserves to get pleasure out of their mealtime.
Welcome back, and take a look at the fog blanketing the landscape at Yosemite National Park. This is America's third national park and will see millions of visitors over the next couple of months. And you can visit all of them for free if you want. This coming Saturday, April 22nd, it is the kickoff of National Park Week.
Oh, nice. And isn't I think this is also the week of Earth Day, right? And so that's a nice
maybe.
another occasion.
I'm actually not sure.
Exactly, and that's another.
Our producer's saying you were right,
I'm right.
Rob.
I
Earth
knew I
Day's
saw
coming
it.
up.
That's it. So
look
go
at you.
appreciate Earth and all of its natural beauty. There, another reason to go out there and check it out. Well, think about this. It can be easy to take things for granted, to say the least, like a hot meal, for example. And sadly, for millions of Americans, they are struggling to get consistent and nutritious meals.
Yes, and the couple you're about to meet is teaming up with a restaurant in Denver to cook and serve meals for their homeless neighbors. Jason Grunauer has the story.
Juice in the pot and then strain it when it tastes ready.
This may look like a kitchen getting ready for a lunch rush.
Everybody loves pasta. It's the universal comfort food.
But the food being prepared in this restaurant kitchen won't be served on the tables out front.
We think, food is a human right, and we think everyone deserves to get pleasure out of their mealtime.
Whitney Aris founded the Preservery Foundation for their husband, Obi, last year. It's named for the restaurant they ran together for 7 years.
Our mission is to build community through food.
They're fulfilling that mission by feeding the people who live in the encampments near their neighborhood.
That, we feel like, is one way that we can just show hospitality to our neighbors that have been disenfranchised.
And as you might have guessed, they're not serving sandwiches.
We've kind of gained a reputation in the neighborhood for bringing the good food.
It's great to be able to help their cause and feed some people in Denver who are much in need.
Dustin Beckner owns Nocturne, where Preservery volunteers cook and package the food 2 days a week. He says it was an easy decision to help his friends help others.
Hopefully this continues to grow, and not only with their nonprofit, but also just in general, and seeing other people to help the unhoused.
I think we all drive by tent encampments and feel like, what a shame it is that people are living in these circumstances. But to, provide this kind service of giving them a hot meal with no expectation of anything in return, it feels like good, important work.
And it is.
Yeah.
That's really the meaning of giving, right? When you don't expect anything in return, nothing coming back to you, you just want to give without any promises, any strings attached. Yes.
And she's, I love that too. And we've talked about this many times on the show. People doing similar work. The food insecurity issues in our country, which are severe, and kind of COVID laid that bare. Those lines at the free food delivery stations, miles of cars in cities all across the country. So it's a real issue, even amongst people you wouldn't necessarily expect. It goes beyond the homeless guy down the block, or
right.
It's not just a bigger problem than that. So it's great to see her kind of stepping in, fulfilling a need, and also pointing out we're known for the good food, because sometimes the donated food it's not the greatest. Let's be honest. Beggars can't be choosers, but still. But she's like they make sure it's good stuff.
Deserve a good meal.
Yeah, I like that.
Beautiful story. Well, coming up next, whether you're hitting the road or maybe flying the friendly skies this summer, it can get tricky if you want to bring along your furry friends. Yeah, I've been through this. It's tough, but fear not, my fellow animal lovers. We've got some tips for you right after this.